baby, mom and daddy. Yeah. Yeah. That's JC and Melissa's daughter. But she had twins, and they had pretty much induced labor. She was losing fluid out of one of the sacks with one of the babies. On the way in the second C-section. So pray for them. Also, want to remember Gary Witt. He's battling the cancer. Also want to remember my mom went Friday for her CT scan or PET scan to see if the cancer was gone, where they had been treating her for the cancer. Received a phone call last night from my uncle J.R. Shelton, who pastors up in Stewart at True Gospel, and his wife Lois is out for sight from her heart. And it's not looking good at all for her. And then remember Bobby Smith, Wilder's mother. Bobby is home now. Spent a little time with him the other day, and they're not giving mom much time. Yes, ma'am. Tony Serena, yeah. This woman, Tony Serena, Tony's got a lot of health issues, and I think we call that neuropathy is not to get the best of him, and EMS, right?
Back, man.
Okay, it's back. It's just got a whole lot going on. Anybody else have a house spoken while we're, yes, sir?
Let's remember Bitsy and Bob Butrell. You know, Bitsy's the one that had an accident delivering pills about a year ago. She's still having health issues, and her husband, Bob, was being diagnosed with a nice strong word. I can't even remember what it was. He's doing bad, and remember Nita Hudson too.
Anybody else?
My daughter's niece, her cousin's side of the family, boy got killed this morning at 5 o'clock. They were fixing to get married next week, and I don't know all the details. He got killed in a bad crash. And the first name was Griff, and I can't remember the last name. I remember that family.
We know, Father, from the teaching of your word, that these things would happen, and Lord, life would get very difficult here at the end. We certainly believe, all our hearts believe, Lord, we're near to that end. Your coming is not far. Lord, be here. Your presence is not far from us. We ask, God, that you would just please rain down your mercy, God, your presence through the Holy Spirit, you anoint us and fill us today. The church as a whole, God, comfort those, Lord, that are bereaved, sick and suffering. God, their families. I pray you give strength and courage through your presence and presence. Move today, God. I pray if there's any soul lost in the center. God, encourage you. We bow today. All right, well, we're just going to do a couple of lines of Amazing Grace. You know it. You don't even have to stand up. You just sit right there and be comfortable. We'll just do a couple of lines of Amazing Grace. all prefer to sing it many times, but it's so fitting for the time. All the things going on around the house. Thank God there's coming a day we won't worry anymore. I don't think anybody knows what it's like not to worry. Now, my uncle told me yesterday on the phone, he was out at the hospital with his wife, the day before yesterday now. She said, go on home, don't worry about me. Heaven's just as close to me down here as it is at the house. Right? But he told her, he said, you tell me how to go home, not to worry, and I'll do it. I tell you, folks, it's not times. And you know, it's kind of a twofold thought. In one part, on the human side, it's sad because the Bible says it's just going to get worse. Wax worse and worse. But the Bible also says that means He's coming. He's getting closer and closer. You give a listen. Down here, my burdens stand, and the road is rough. Sometimes I feel get weary and so slow. Day is still, soon I'll stand on the shore, and I won't have to worry anymore. Yeah. No, I won't have to worry when I reach the other shore. All my trouble it'll be over, and I'll rest forevermore. My eyes will be on Jesus, and my heart it'll be love, and I won't have to worry anymore. Someday life will so. I said my last goodbye. I say my last say. Out here, say you're alright. All your cares, they're left behind, and I won't have turn to the book of 1 Peter, chapter number 5. 1 Peter 5. Again, thank you so much for coming, being in the house of God with us this morning. We do appreciate it. Appreciate your attendance and faithfulness to God. We want to talk about a subject this morning that I believe we'll all find very interesting, but yet I believe we'll all find very difficult to do, and that is avoid the devil. How do you avoid the devil? Yeah, how do you avoid the devil? And we try, and I do, and I know you do, and we ask God to help us. We pray for wisdom and strength to resist the devil. But somehow, we always seem to, in some way, succumb to the devil. His deception, his temptation. And, the devil uses those times in our lives to, if you will, kind of, beat us up, beat us down, discourage us, try to derail us, get us off track, try to cause us to make bad decisions in life. And, the Bible is very clear, though, that during these difficult times like we're living in, is when we have to really learn what faith is about. Because right now, if you're living by sight, boy, you really going to be in a world of hurt. If you don't have any faith at all in the Word of God and the gospel and the teachings of Jesus, if you don't believe in all of what He said, then it will bring a lot of misery. This time that we're living in will bring a lot of pain and aggravation, depression, if you will, into your life. So I want to spend a few minutes this morning. I've got 3 things I want to give you on how to avoid Satan. And again, guys, I preach to myself because, it's easy to hear these things, but very hard to apply them into our lives. I really wanted, my thoughts went to where, and they do often to the book of Romans in chapter number 7. And I almost wrote it down and decided to turn over and just read some of it. But Paul in that chapter gives a very detailed description of what it's like to try to live in this world and be a Christian. Because you know what to do, what you should do, what you want to do, you find. But how to do it, you find not. Because you find yourself on the short end of the stick more times than not when it comes to really being in the will of God. And it's amazing how our own bodies work against us, because when you're up on that mountaintop is when you're most vulnerable to the devil, because your guard is down. Your defenses are down. And then when you get down that valley, you put your guard back up, you bring your defenses back, you look back to God, you turn back to God. And then again, in reality, we should really just keep our eyes, as He told us to, on Him all the time. Here in 1 Peter chapter number 5 is a very familiar verse that you know, and we'll read it. It gives the warning to the child of God to be sober, vigilant. Boy, if there's ever a time you need to be sober-minded, have your mind made up. I mean, my God, today I don't understand how people cannot make up their mind. With all that's going on, all that's happening, really right now confusion should be the one thing that's not in our mind. We shouldn't be confused unless we don't believe. Really.
Right, amen.
Unless we just simply do not believe. Because if you believe, you're not confused.
Right.
If you believe, you're not wondering, you're looking. But we do have a real enemy. He's pointed out here in this chapter. And he's right now, boy, he's lurking, he's waiting, some folk, I dare say some people, maybe during times like this, have lost their faith completely and given up. Some people have succumbed to the temptation of the devil to the point that they have believed him when he says, well, what's the use? You might as well just quit and enjoy life and just live it up while you got time to do it. And certainly today that's what we see a lot of people do. They live like they want to.
Yes. Amen.
If you're living like you want to, you ain't living the way God wants you to live. You know, if you're living like you want to, you're not in the will of God. It's impossible to please both man, self, and God.
Amen. Yeah.
Amen.
One or the other is going to be your enemy, self or God.
Right.
So let's read this here on how the Lord said. Here's the warning. You know it. 1 Peter 5:8. What does he say here? He says in the Word of God, be sober, be vigilant. Again, have your mind made up. Be sure. Be sure. A double-minded person is unstable in all their ways. Somebody who's not sober and vigilant is unstable. They're double-minded. They're Christian and they ain't. They're saved and they ain't. They believe and they don't. They accept and they reject. If our minds are not made up. I just like to be around people who got their mind.
Right. Yes. Amen.
You don't have to warn them about it. Because their mind's made up. Amen. So be sober and vigilant. He says, because your adversary or your real enemy, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. The ones that get away, the ones that, double-minded. One minute they're in church, one minute they're not. They're wandering back out in the world in the gray area. I've used this verse many a times and preached about you can't live in the gray area. That's where the lion's at. That's where the devil's at. The Bible says he's out there lurking around. Out there. You don't know where he's at. You hear his roar. We see and hear the roar of the devil every day of our lives, but you don't know where he's at. You don't know who he's really in, and you don't know where he might be. Why would you take a chance?
Right. Amen.
To be destroyed by the devil. And that's what you're doing when you're not vigilant, when you don't get your mind made up, your priorities. In and out, up, down. That's just the breeding grounds of the devil, folks. And you don't avoid the devil living that way. In fact, according to the Bible here, you invite the devil into your presence. You invite him into your life. When you toy with God, you flirt with Satan. Your adversary is out there. He's a roaring lion. He's seeking whom he may devour. That's the ones that's gotten away a little bit. The ones that's hard to heart. The ones that's gotten jealous. The ones that's just gotten upset about something. The ones that just want to really live life like they want to. I hope that none of us find ourselves in that condition. I hope if you find yourself strayed away from God, that you come back for the devil to shoot you, for the devil to destroy you. Who better than Peter would have known about the prowess of Satan? See, this is the way Peter lived life. Y'all know the story about Peter. One time I'll never leave you, Lord. I'll never forsake you. I'll die for you. Jesus said, yeah, I hear all that. But he said, you're going to deny me. thinking, no, I'll never do that. I'll never leave the church. I'll never forsake it. I'll never walk away. I'll never follow anybody else. And we know how 3 times he denied the Lord. 3 times. Several times Jesus tried to warn Peter, Satan was after him. But all 3 times Peter done what? He denied. The warning shot. He dismissed it like people do all the time now. It ain't going to happen to me. I'm strong enough. I can resist the devil. Is there anybody in the room this morning who feels that they can resist the devil? Really, truly. I mean, do anybody feel confident enough and strong enough that you can tell the devil no? Every time. Every situation. Every circumstance. See, Peter said, yeah, I can. And God said, all right, I'm going to test you. And as soon as we take that prideful attitude, that, I mean, I got this, Lord, I really don't need to see. Because that's what happens when we take on this spirit of pride. We take on that spirit of, well, I don't have to pray as much as maybe somebody else does. I don't have to, read the Bible. I don't have to study. I don't have to be in space. I don't have to do all these things as much as someone else does. I got this. We've already begun our fall on tongue. Not simply. Why is the world in the shape it's in this morning? Because we think, the whole world thinks they got this. Look where it's led us. Too long, church, listen to me. I'm not directing this solely to Bethel Baptist Church. I direct it to myself and every other church out here. For too long, the church has toyed with God. Too long, the church has played games with God. And God's getting tired.
Right. Preach it now.
And we've seen it and we've watched it. We've seen it and we've watched it. Year in and year out. So, too many Christians have gone to sleep. They've become too complacent and unconcerned. And all that has done is open the way to Satan's word. The church. And our personal lives. So I have a few warnings here from God on what we should be alert, sober about. Here in that beginning of that verse, he says, be vigilant, be sober. If you see these things in your life, don't deny it, and don't pretend that it's not happening. Don't say, well, I mean, yeah, but I'm not as bad as so-and-so, or I ain't done what so-and-so's done. Just completely dismiss all that theory and just say, look, I'm guilty. Be vigilant. And the devil will love nothing more than do what he's doing today. And that is he's lured the church asleep. Little by little, he's put us in that rock or that cradle. And little by little, he's pushed it back and forth until the church is not what it used to be. And we say we know, preacher, I know it ain't what it used to be. Well, why ain't it then? Why can't we change the way we are? Why can't we change what we're doing and get it back to what it once was? If we see it's not as vigilant and sober and alert as it used to be. 3 things that I'll give you. And the first one is this. Be careful. If you want to avoid the devil in your life, don't stray away from God. What's that mean exactly, preacher? Hey, remember what got you to his side. Remember what brought you there to his side. Remember what helped you, hey, get the world out of your life as much as possible and get you into the presence of God. And whatever it was that you were doing, hey, keep doing it. Look with me, if you will, if you like. I'm going to flip over to the book of Psalm 119, verses You don't have to say that text verse unless you just want to. Psalm 119. Something here in this 119th Psalm that speaks to our hearts about getting away from God. Don't stray. Psalm 119, look at verse number 67, if you will, when you find your place. David is talking here. And we all know the story. David, we know how he, what he do? He strayed away from God, right? He allowed the lures and the temptations of the flesh and the world and his arrogance and his kingdom. He became the king. You know, I always like to reference that. People say, well, I ain't no king. You may know that we are our own little kingdom. The things we own, the things we possess, where we live, maybe things like that. We consider ourselves the king. And David, in his kingdom, in his arrogance, maybe he thought he was equal with God. Maybe he thought he just simply didn't need God. And that's why he did the things he did. And listen to what he says here. This is basically a testimony from David about straying away from God. He says here in this verse number 67, the Bible says, let me find it. He says, before I was afflicted, what did he do? I went astray. He said, before all this condemnation, all this sorrow, all this misery, all this pain, all these things happened. He said, the reason it happened is I left the door open to the devil in my life. Sure way to leave the door open behind you, folks. Getting away from the things you know that work. Hey, getting away from the things that helped you and drew you close to His side. Hey, when you stop practicing the things that you know, hey, God is pleased with and that God is honored with, hey, you're going to get away from God. Don't drift away from the things again that led you to God. Every year we see it in people's lives, year after year. People get saved. They get close to God. They get close to the church. And here's the $1 million question. After a while, something happens. It isn't fair this morning to make the comment, as I've already said, that the church ain't what it used to be. Would you say amen to that?
Amen.
And if the church ain't what it used to be, isn't it fair to say that we all have let something happen? What happened? What happened? All that's going on right now in our country and the world about us, all that's happening right here in this community where we live and work and try to survive, all those things, God is trying to speak to our hearts, and God is trying to tell us what happened. And let me go ahead and throw this in and say it this way. People say, well, you see it year after year. People, get in church, they get on fire for God. They start loving the church and loving God. But then as time goes on and life happens, something happens along the way. It causes them to stray away from God or pull away from God. And you wonder what happened. And before you know it, they're completely away from God, completely away from the church. And all that does is invite the devil into their life, invite the misery, the sorrow, and the pain, the suffering into their life. And what happened? Let me tell you what God's got to say about what happened. This is what God says about what happened. You know what happened. Each individual person in the room this morning, you and I know what happened. Anybody watching this on Facebook knows what happened. If we've gotten away from God, and the best advice that God's got for you and me is to get back and find out and think back and recall what happened and get it under the blood. Get honest with God and ask God to forgive us and ask God to help us if we ever point that where we almost don't have any anymore. And if you have morals today, you know as well as I know, I catch it all the time. And if you've got any kind of morals today that you live by and you stand on, that you won't change and change your mind on, friend, you're treated as an outcast in this society. In most churches today, you're treated as a loner and an outcast. Something's wrong with you if you live like that.
Amen.
We're not going to avoid the devil by leaving the door over the house. And when we get away from God, when we get away from things that work, that's why, folks, I don't believe in changing. I mean, sure, I say it like this. I believe in changing a little bit as far as bending a little bit. I mean, I can give a little here. I can give a little there. And it's in the Word of God, even about how times are up and down, you give and take. And I believe in some of that, but I'm not changing, hey, for the world and the world society and the world system. I just refuse to change.
Amen. Blessing.
But the world wants something different.
Yeah.
Most churches today want something different. You know, I know we get tired. We all be tired of hearing it, but we all be tired to the point that we do something about it. Now, I know over the last 30, 40, 50 years, we've heard preacher after preacher after preacher after preacher, hey, preach it and say something about it and talk about it and warn us like God was trying to warn Peter. Hey, the devil's out there. He's going to take over the church. He's going to take over your personal life. He's going to take over society. He's going to devour. He's going to destroy. If you leave the door open, if you don't shut the door behind you, the devil's going to destroy. And we've heard it, and we've heard it, and we've heard it, but yet we said it. Little by little, the devil's done exactly what God said he would do. The Bible says that what happened is that people got caught up in the snares of the adversary. Let me go ahead and make another comment. This is true as it is. I'm standing here this morning. A lot of reason today people won't take a stand on nothing. A lot of reason today is because people won't stand up for godly rights and godly things and do what's right according to the Bible. The reason today a lot of church people cannot take that stand is because of what I just got done reading. They're so caught up in the devil's snare and the devil's trickery and the devil's deceit. Hey, they're so caught up in this world and they feel too ashamed. Stand up and do anything. Right. So how do you stray from the Lord exactly? Let me give you just a few thoughts on that. Here's some of the ways the adversary will attack you. Here's some of the ways he'll come at you. Call you straight from God. You can't get people to the prayer when you pray. Because it ain't important enough no more. If we've ever took an attitude, I pray at home, preach, I don't have to pray at church, then we've taken an attitude that ain't important enough. How many countless souls have been saved because men and women gathered up at the house of God and prayed? Hey, the Bible even gives a very good illustration of that. That when was it Peter and John and a couple of disciples were locked up in prison? Hey, what did they do? They didn't get on the Facebook gossip about them. They got in the house of God and got on their knees and they prayed.
Yeah. Amen.
We're straight from our prayer life. When you stray from praying, friend, talking to God, you're leaving the door wide open for the devil in your life. When you don't pray as you ought, when you're not praying for your children as you should, when you're not praying for your family as you should, friend, hey, your children, and I repeatedly say this and say that, and I'll continue to repeat it. Your children ought to see you on your knees complacent. We've become so sidelined. We've left the door open to the devil so much. And at work, at school, in different places, we won't even bow our head and pray over our food.
That's right.
Because the devil's devoured our prayer. And I dare to say many times over, you can be at work or school or somewhere, some event, some gathering, and you get ready to eat, and the first thing hits your heart and hits your mind. Hey, we need to pray. Somebody needs to pray. Somebody needs to thank God, but nobody does nothing. Because of shame. We let it slide. Y'all help me this morning. We let it slide. Just like we do so many other things. Well, everybody else is going. Everybody else is doing it. All my friends from school will be over there. All the people I know is going to be over there. I mean, it's all right to have a little bit of fun. It's all right if you do a little this, do a little that. Yeah, you keep giving room and ground to the devil. He says give no place to the devil.
Right.
But we keep giving all that place, and the adversary devours and destroys. You know, such and such mom and daddy's going to be there. Such and such mom and daddy friends, so and such going to be there. Well, friend, if they were what they ought to be, they wouldn't allow it.
Yeah.
And that compromise has devoured our prayer life. It has destroyed our children, our society. So if you neglected your prayer life, if it's not important enough to pray, if they're not important enough to pray over, talking with the Lord on a daily basis is critical. Christians who fail in turning to God, turning to His light, which is the Word of God, by the way. Let me ask you a question. You don't have to answer it. I'm not trying to embarrass my church on Facebook. We got back there going live. I'm not trying to, but I want to ask you a question. How many times have you ever though prayed a prayer? God, please tell me what to do. God, please show me what to do. God, please shine the light a little bright in my life so I know what you want me to do, so I know what I should be doing, shouldn't be doing. Have you ever prayed that prayer? Have you ever talked to God like that? Sure you have. I have. Hey, you know what? You know what God's up there in heaven said? I give you the whole Bible. I gave you 66 books. I gave you the brightest light I could ever give you, but yet you forsake that. You don't turn to that. You don't look to that, and yet you ask me for advice. I've done told you what to do. And then we get up off our knees and go about living our life, and we don't hear from heaven. And well, God must not care. He must not let me do what I want to. And you do what you want to. And you say amen right there. That's what we do. Is that not how we live? That's how we live our life? That's what we do. But we got the Bible. And we don't look to the Bible. We don't consult the Bible. We don't ask God through the Word of God. What do you want, God? He said, here's the light. It'll light the path. It'll show the way. It'll look and read and get in it. God said, I'll tell you what to do. But we don't get in it. Vitally important, church. Reading and studying the Bible. It's vital. If the Bible's not your roadmap, what is? If the Bible's not the roadmap, if it's not the light, what is? We neglect our spiritual needs, we become vulnerable in our physical and our emotional life. Lord, the devil attacks you physically, spiritually, and emotionally. Just cause a Christian to lack the necessary courage, they need to say that. We lack courage today. The ability to resist. The ability to say. You know, some people may ask that and say, well, Christian, I don't have no problem telling somebody no. If I don't like it, if I don't want to do it, if I don't think it's right, I tell them no. What about how telling yourself no? Do you have a problem telling yourself no? Because really, self is more of a problem than anybody else is. Self is the one that really gets you in trouble.
Amen.
And self's really the one you don't tell no to.
Right.
When you lack this courage, this direction, this guidance, this help, you end up yielding to the pressures of the old life and become victim of sex snares. Oh, we see it all the time. We see it all the time. We must guard our devotional life diligently. Time with God. If I spent as much time with God as I did watching TV, that'd be a drastic change in my life.
Amen.
And really, if we just go ahead and break it down and be completely honest today, see, we people, well, I don't watch that much TV. If I spend as much time with God as I do with family, friends, and other things, too often God gets the least of my time. And everything else consumes me because I allow it. Draw near to God every day of your life. We must take our stand boldly before God. Straight away from Satan's territory. James said it this way in James chapter 4, verse 17. He says, submit yourself therefore to God, resist the devil. The devil will be for you. Instead of God. Not free of that happens a lot of times. Number 2 this morning about avoiding the devil. How do you avoid the devil? Don't stray, then please don't stray. But are you ever guilty of straying around? Feeling so good that you flirt with temptation and sin? In the book of Proverbs, you want to turn over with me just a little bit there in chapter number 16. I'll be more about pride. Proverbs number 16. Now what is the book of Proverbs? Book of what? Wisdom. Wisdom. Look at verse number 18, chapter 16. He says here, pride or strutting, going before destruction, the haughty, cocky spirit, the full fall. And it happens. Some Christians lack humility. Just lack humility. They desire the praise of men rather than the approval of God. John said it this way in John 12:43, for they love the praise of men more than they love the praise of God. You know, that verse there in John reminds me a lot of what Paul told Timothy in the last days. He said they be lovers of self, right? Lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God. Cocky and arrogant. deceitful. I mean, people done got so arrogant and cocky, they're standing in the church and lie. And not even willing while they do it. Folks, it destroys. Jesus, our great example, said this as he humbled himself. He declared that he could do nothing by himself, but depending on the Heavenly Father for everything. Man. He pleased his Father. The question is, the way you plan on living your life will please the Heavenly Father. Is God, I can't get away from their Wednesday night lessons. They speak so clearly to you. But is God pleased with the choices you're making right now? Is your choices arrogant choices, self-willed, selfish? Really not. See, that's what humility is asking God. And then when God says yes or no, do what God tells you. But we lack that humility. No, right? We lack that humility. Pride. Pride. How much farther does the church have to fall? We must humble ourselves for the Lord's sake. We don't avoid Satan by doing what we want to do. You don't avoid Satan by following your heart. You avoid Satan by talking to God. Humble yourself. James answered that question this way in James 14. He says, humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and He shall teach you. So, if pride is what's holding us in place today, something will come back, and then we'll see something. And then lastly this morning, let me give you this third point on how to avoid the devil. And I guess in some ways I've already preached it, but you avoid the devil by not stupid. Don't change. Don't go on your morals. No standards. Man. Things we all know today, we all see, we all realize that, and it's right in front of our face. How much things have changed when it comes to morals and standards that we live by, how we live our lives. Nothing's like it used to be. Nothing. I want to give you a verse about that, and that's in Romans chapter number 12. Romans number 12. I want to keep one verse here about stupid changing your morals. Keep just a moment that you find your spot. Romans number 12. Let's look down and find it there. Look down at verse number 12. He says simply, be not overcome with evil, but overcome evil. There's another Bible verse that comes to mind when I read that. Makes you think and how hard it is to practice what God teaches. But in the book of John, I believe I'm not mistaken, it's chapter number 5, verse 44, he says, pray for them that despitefully use you, spit upon you, Now, if pride is in our hearts, are we praying like we should? I pray, preacher, but are you praying like you should? What's the question? I'm a Christian, but are you the Christian you should? If we're not what God tells us we should be, folks, we got to learn how to do these things together if we want to avoid the devil. Our lives. The morals of our world are at all-time low. I mean, things that we're forced to go into the booth and vote on. God have mercy, should never even be thought of even put on.
Amen.
But yet these politicians do all these things and then they get up there and say, well, I'm praying for the nation. God have mercy.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time. Because it ain't getting no higher than the ceiling according to my Bible. God have mercy. Everything in society, everything on television, runs with violence, sex, alcohol, drugs, dishonesty, corruption. And our government every day testifies to it. And how crooked and sorry and low down this country was. I mean, bless God, you go out here and kill a dog and they'll put you in prison for 30 years. You kill somebody and they don't even hardly look at you.
Right. Yeah.
Something's wrong with that picture, folks.
Amen. Preach it now.
And yet they love God. They love the nation. Millions of Christians, millions of Christians have relaxed their morals and their standards because they are simply caught up in one or more of Satan's snares. And I know today, folks, that's where the battle line is drawn right there. People say all the time, well, it's all right. I mean, at least it ain't this. Hey, the Bible don't say that. The Bible said wrong is wrong. And God never gave you and I permission to justify sin or to corralize the sins in the world, in our lives. He never given us permission to say this was right and this was wrong. This you do, this you don't do. Hey, God said we're supposed to follow the commandment of the Word. But today, everybody's trying to play God. Everybody's trying to say what's right and wrong and what should be and shouldn't be allowed. That's not the problem. Everybody sits around confused. Just like we're about the coronavirus. How bad is it? How much is it? What's really going on? Hey, who really knows anymore? I wish them lying politicians tell the truth one time. And I wish the lying media would quit lying. Just to get ratings. But yet that trickles down to the church and to our day-to-day lives. We get what we want in our lives, we get what we want in life. We lower our morals and our standards, our beliefs. Change it. More people have gotten very, very good. Christians have gotten very good at suppressing their conscience. to where they don't feel convicted all the time. And Mama, the first point was we got to get back to doing what brought us to God to start with, and conviction is what brought you to God to start with. But if you're not convicted over nothing, you don't pray. You don't confess nothing. Christ will live and restore those who repent and forsake their sin. But God will deal sternly. Look around you today. Listen to what I say. God will deal sternly with those that do not live with their shortcomings. We all like to look, in today's society again, when it comes to those morals and standards and beliefs and things, we say, well, it's the world doing it, the government's doing it, that's why it's here, that's why all this is going on. And hey, listen, I disagree. The world is doing exactly what God said the world would do. It's the Christians who ain't doing what God said they should be doing.
Well, man, yeah.
Problem ain't the world, the problem's the church.
Yeah.
Let us get back to doing a good deed each day of our lives. Share Christ with the lost. This close door to the devil. I wonder what keeps people from testifying. I wonder what keeps people from passing tracts out. Can I just be real honest with you? Not offend you. Just say, why people won't pass a tract? Why people won't go invite nobody to revivals? They ain't planning on coming to revival themselves. They ain't planning on being in church themselves. They don't want to embarrass themselves by having to answer the question, why weren't they there? And that's really the way it works today. That's how we're operating. That's how we're living. We're not doing what we used to do because we're not involved ourselves. We're not faithful. If we were faithful, we would be faithful to all of it. But if we're not faithful to all of it, we're not doing all of it.
Well,
And that's really what's happening today, guys. Doors wide open. You think Satan's taking the opportunity to step in? There's a roaring lion seeking out who he may devour. One that would be next. Will it be the one that'll take this message? Oh, preacher, I ain't got to worry about none of them things. I ain't done none of that. Will it be the one that's already made up their mind? I'm doing all I'm going to do. I'm doing all Who will be out next? Will it be the one that's going? He'll shut the door. Now, I was growing up, you come in the house, like back to fellowship hall, you come in last, you left the door open, Grandpa turned around and looked at you and said, "Was you ready to bar?" And you said, "No." He said, "Well, shut the door." But you know what, David, you're not guilty of being told. I like it, son, true, genuine son. I love God's people. It's hurt. Bible talks about all the time how they get weak around you, sickly. It's because, everybody got away from God, strayed away from God. We see that today, how people get weak and sick. die spiritually. I mean, it's got to the point, I believe, I don't know, God is literally, He is literally setting off dynamite right beside people. I don't know what else has got to happen. Move the gospel closer. How do you avoid death? Let's take a few moments. Brandon, help me out. It's coming.